This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I have to warn you that this video is not for the weak at heart. At the end of this video, in a few minutes, I'm going to play about a 6-minute news clip, which has some really frightening graphics in it, images, I should say. But I feel it's important to cover this because it's something that doesn't get addressed often enough. And yesterday, somebody left this link on my video wall, and I had never heard of this case before, this specific event before, and it's really just frightening, to say the least. And it revolves around abortion and what happens to these fetuses. Now, a lot of people don't think about abortions as ritual sacrifices. They don't realize that the reason that abortion has been pushed so much into the mainstream, the reason that they've convinced women that these poor, babies that are inside of them are not real, almost as if if it hasn't come out yet, it's not like you're killing a human being. It's about you and your body, right? They've convinced women into this pro-choice thing and not pro-life. And what it is it's murder. And it's absolutely heartbreaking. But it's heartbreaking, too, on the women who get deceived into this because they have no idea. They let the media decide, the mindset on this. They have Hollywood celebrities come out and say, it's your body, it's your choice. And there's a reason that, I've talked about these satanic organizations, satanic temple, satanic church, or the Church of Satan, I should say. There's a reason that one of the only things that they do, other than go after victims of SRA, is go to all these abortion clinics, stand outside, dump milk on one another, dress up like giant babies, mock people who are anti-abortion, is because they know that the fetuses that are taken from these abortions are used in mass rituals. That's what is done. They are used in mass rituals. They don't just need to abduct and kidnap children. Once abortions got pushed, it made it even easier for them to obtain these children, to obtain their body parts, to be able to perform all this disgusting cannibalism on these fetuses, on these children. Because people don't go, well, what happens to the fetuses and stuff once the abortion takes place? Well, this video clip that I'm about to play will show you instances where this is what happens. And people just go, wow, why are there all of these aborted fetuses? You'll see for yourself. It's to say that it's heartbreaking is an understatement. To say that it's nauseating is an understatement. My stomach has been completely turned since I've seen this. Completely. And my mind has just been sick over it. This revolves around a Los Angeles fetus disposal scandal from 1982 where they discovered over 16,000 aborted fetuses which were being improperly stored at Malvin Weisberg's Woodland Hills, California home. And then the ensuing legal battle regarding their disposal. Because they just decided to dispose the bodies as if they were never really alive, right? They said, well, they don't deserve a proper burial. They're just fetuses, so we're just going to, torch them or get rid of them. It's really just absolutely disgusting. They had operated a medical analytic laboratories in Santa Monica from 1976 until March 1981. He purchased a 20-foot storage container, which you will see in the news clip, in 1980, delivering it to his Woodland Hills home and paying for it with a bounce check for $1,700. The container was repossessed on February 3rd, 1982. The company opened the container the following day, the company that repossessed it, and they discovered the fetuses, which were stored in formaldehyde. The initial press conference on February 5th, 1982 by the Los Angeles County Health Department said up to 500 fetuses were found on February 8th. This number eventually rose up to 17,000. And you'll see for yourself. And like I said, look, the reason I'm showing you this is because this is something that doesn't get addressed enough either. And I need to address it more often as well. It's very, it's hard to address, right? But like I said earlier, there's a reason that, if you hear interviews with Satanists, during a lot of these rituals that they perform, they actually perform abortions during the ritual. It's not always, a 3-month-old child, 3-year-old child. They'll actually just get these women pregnant and then perform the abortion during the ritual with everybody surrounding them in their ritual circle with the doctor doing it. It's almost a guarantee that 100% of the doctors who perform these abortions or work at these abortion clinics are Satanists or witches in covens. Okay, you'll often find abortion clinics pretty close to Masonic lodges as well. That is not just me making it up hearsay. You could look for yourself. In a lot of cases, there are abortion clinics right next to these places or right around the corner. There are Masonic lodges or Eastern Star lodges. And it needs to be addressed because the fact that the Satanists care so much about abortion. I mean, they just care so much about a woman's right to choose, even though the woman made the choice to spread her legs in the first place. And, then they say, well, if the person was raped, and I'm not going to get into all this stuff. I am obviously 100% pro-life, 100 million percent, can never have my opinion changed on it. I don't care what the consequence is or the result of the woman getting pregnant is. I understand people get raped and things like that happen, but I also understand that there's many people out there who can't have babies, who would love to adopt a child, who are on long waiting lists to adopt a child. So I know they've created this touchy subject about it with women, but it should never be that. It should never be this touchy subject, like, about, your body it's yours and you can make this decision. It is murder. And Satanists and occultists use these abortions as ritual ceremonies. They use the fetuses that are taken, the Planned Parenthood. We know they're involved in organ harvesting and all that stuff, but they take these fetuses, they use them for rituals, and it's just, it's frightening. So I'm going to play this news clip now. I'm really kind of at a loss for words. I didn't really know how to open this video and talk about this because it does make me really nauseous. This clip made me really nauseous, but I'm going to play it for you anyway. I'm telling you right now, I'm not just saying that. If you're somebody who, if you might not want to watch the clip, okay? But if you want to just hear the first few minutes, they do talk about what this story is about, but they do show images. They are graphic. It might bring some people to tears, some people to nausea. I apologize for that in advance, but I've given you a warning, so you might want to look away and not watch it. But again, pray for these children who do go through this. Their souls. I mean, they are living creatures. They're alive. It's amazing to me, like pagans. If you go outside and you take a leak on a bush, these witches and stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, the poor tree. If you throw a soda can out your window, the environment. Oh my goodness, look, he kicked a tree, the poor tree. Oh, he's taking a dump in the grass. Not that a human would be, well, unless you're a human dog, which unfortunately those people do exist. But they're so sensitive about all that stuff. And then when it comes to an actual living baby inside of a woman, it's not technically alive till it comes out, they say. It's an absolute joke and hypocrisy. But that's because they want everybody to think that this is about a woman's choice, and they've convinced all these women that it's not. It's about obtaining these fetuses. This is a ritual. Okay, these fetuses are used in rituals, and it really is heartbreaking. So again, I apologize for going on a little rant there. I wasn't sure really even how to go about talking about this. It's really heartbreaking stuff. So anyway, here's the clip, and again, be forewarned, it's pretty graphic.
America today is involved in another desperate conflict. Much of the action takes place behind the scenes, set in clinics, homes, and hospitals. Many Americans aren't even aware of this struggle, so brace yourself, because before this film is over, you will visit the bloody fields of battle. You'll meet the people involved in the fighting on both sides, which includes some of the most influential figures in America today. And perhaps for the first time, you'll understand the reasons behind their struggle. Our story concerns abortion and began, strangely enough, in this relatively peaceful suburb of Los Angeles. Malvin Weisberg, a pathologist, owned a large storage container which he kept in his backyard. When he failed to make the final 2 payments, it was repossessed.
We made a decision to repossess it because its check did not clear the bank. And so we sent the truck out to pick up the container.
I rolled out there and took the box up and started pulling it up. And it was so heavy, it's just it broke the winch.
And we couldn't get it off the trailer, so we had to leave it on the trailer because it was too heavy. So I was asked by Nick to have a crew go down and unload the container at the other yard.
I got a radio call that from Ron Gillette, the foreman, And he said the men were throwing up and there was something really wrong.
One of them fell down and hit me right in front of my feet. And it was opened up, and there it was. It was a mutilated body. And the more closer I looked at it, it was a human body.
And when I came to work the following day, I saw it myself. I couldn't believe it. And it's just, just little bitty babies, just all torn to pieces. Their heads chopped off, arms, legs, it just makes you sick to see something like that. Well, really, it's just, it makes you want to cry when you see something like that.
Starting at the very front of this container, it was just wall clear to the ceiling and clear to the sides, filled with them.
I really don't want to witness it again. Not what I saw.
Well, as the supervisor for the County of Los Angeles, we found out through the media that 17,000 infants had been stored in a container. So we asked for an investigation by the district attorney and the coroner's office. We found approximately 190 were over 20 weeks of age. I think some as long as old as 25, 27 weeks.
Mr. Antonovich contacted Mr. Gutierrez.
Glenn Wong is a funeral director for a major Los Angeles mortuary.
Asked us to go ahead and handle the burial of the fetuses. How I came involved was they were asking if it were possible to have anyone photograph these fetuses, and I so happened to be also a photographer.
How many fetuses were actually involved in the autopsies?
There were approximately about 44, if I'm correct.
And why were the autopsies performed?
They were to find out why, or what was the reason of the cause of death.
That wasn't apparent?
Apparently not. No, I've seen some of these fetuses, and believe me, they were apart. There were some where the eyes were bulging, and some where the chest cavity was ripped open. I do remember one was where I saw a hand and the feet all apart. So it was kind of like the hands were intact, the feet were intact, and everything else was more like just a little potpourri, a little of everything, and that was it. That kind of turned me.
Here we see the abortionist stretching the cervix very wide open.
Dr. John Wilkie, who with his wife Barbara authored The Handbook on Abortion, described the dilation and extraction method used to abort many of the fetuses.
That without any anesthetic, the abortionist reaches up into the womb and seizes part of the body of the baby, usually a leg or an arm, twisting and tears it off and away from the body of the baby. The baby, feeling pain, does not have any anesthetic. Bleeding is extreme. The abortionist returns in there with this grasping pliers-like instrument, tearing more parts of the body away, snapping the spine, and finally the mechanical problem is to get the skull out, and so he usually has to crush the skull in order to bring it out.
We had a court order that would allow us to bury these infants, being a humane act. And the ACLU comes in again saying that this is just tissue. We want to incinerate them, and there's no need for a burial. Because if you had a burial, somehow that's going to create a problem. Problem for whom?
And at that time, I think everybody there realized this was wrong, that it was really wrong. Everybody standing there felt that way. Even the coroner's office, I could sense that they were treating this like they were dead people, and they are dead people. That's the way everybody treated it. Evidently, the ACLU doesn't feel that way. And then transferred it all into to the original container, and as I understand, it's still up in a county yard someplace.
Is it refrigerated?
No, it's in a steel container.
And how long, do you have any idea how long it'll be there?
I don't know, but it's been 2 years now, so who knows?
Although the discovery of 17,000 fetuses in a trash container is not an everyday occurrence, it is an event that should surprise no one. For every 3 days, an equivalent number of fetal children are disposed of in this country. 17,000. 1,000.